Well, welcome back. Over in Munich, Oktoberfest will wrap on Sunday, but before the event officially comes to a close, we had the chance to catch up with celebrity historian Rafi Andonian.
Yeah, watch as he fills us in on the roots of the celebration as well as the history of craft beer right here in the natural state. Take a look. It's the season of beer. Oktoberfest is here, and celebrity historian Rafi Andonian is here to give us the history of this annual season. Hey, Rafi, great to see you.
Hey there, cheers. What a happy topic to talk about,
Absolutely,
Yeah.
Yes. You got to crack one open.
Of course, why not? I got to have
right,
one
here
while
you
we're
go.
talking about it. I don't want
for
to
sure.
rid myself.
And you shouldn't drink alone. So,
No.
how did Oktoberfest get its start? How did it begin, Rafi?
Oktoberfest is not as old as we might think. It's only about a couple hundred years old. Now, of course, beer goes back thousands of years before that.
Right.
But Oktoberfest started about 200 years ago when you have the Prince of Bavaria who's celebrating a wedding. Now, what we don't associate with Oktoberfest today was actually a lot of horse racing.
Oh.
It was along with that. Yep, you think about it, kind of an old classic sport, right? Horse racing in the
Sure.
19th century. That's
Yeah.
when a lot of horse races get started. That used to be a central part of the event. Of course, the celebrating and partying with the beer goes along with celebrating the wedding.
Okay.
So over time, the horse racing part has faded, of course, but we maintain the tradition of going back and having an annual tradition and festival to celebrate that. And today, there's more than 1 million gallons of beer consumed at each Oktoberfest festival,
Really?
believe it or not. I always
Wow.
think it's funny, though, because Oktoberfest, as you know, begins in September. It
Yeah.
carries into early
Yes.
October. It's a
Right.
2-week period.
So, Rafi, when did Arkansas beer making begin?
Arkansas beer making, actually not too long after that. So it's
Really?
in the
Okay.
mid-19th century that Arkansas begins to make beer with German immigration. So there's a tie
Okay.
to Germany, right? Now, beer doesn't begin in Germany, but beer is certainly very popular in Germany and is one of
Sure.
the, meccas of making beer. So German immigration in the 19th century, middle part, 1840s, 1850s, especially in the western part of the state and some of the homesteads. That's where you have some of the early breweries pop up. But with Prohibition, that kind of course, kind of clears out what breweries were going, right? In
Yeah. Right.
Arkansas and elsewhere across the country.
Sure.
Because there is so many craft beers that have proliferated over the past 30 years, here in NWA included. And I brought some here today
Yeah.
Yeah.
that remind me of some of the different styles out there. For example, in ancient Egypt, workers were often paid in beer, and there's accounts of that in ancient Mesopotamia, in ancient Babylon as well.
Okay.
And so when you're getting paid in beer, it tended to be a lighter beer that was closer to water because water was not as safe. That is actually true. Like, we might think that's mythology, but that was actually true thousands of years ago. So the beer would allow you to have a safer form of having some of that, liquid in you. But also, in addition to adding honey, like what we just described
Yeah.
earlier, you may even find dates in there, carrots in there, or cheese. Now, we still associate cheese with beer, right? We might eat
Sure,
cheese
yeah,
with beer.
beer
I'm not going
cheese-
to put cheese in the beer.
Beer cheese soup? maybe?
Exactly,
Like-
exactly. IPAs
nice.
are popular again. They used to be kind of, a more English sailing the world kind of beer, but
Right.
now they're popular again in our generation. But the tangerine to me is also reminiscent of beers, again, thousands of years ago that added fruit. So it's a nice hybrid when you think
Yeah.
about the history that's in your mouth, that you're
That's right.
tasting,
Yeah.
So
But
it's
like
really
you said,
cool.
it's the old, new again kind of renaissance
That's
of
right.
beer that's happening.
That's
Yes.
right, and I think broadly speaking, culturally, we have many things that are like that today, right? There's kind of
Sure.
looking back to cultural roots and historical things and bringing them back in a sort of ancient contemporary kind of way. We give it a contemporary twist and a contemporary flair, which I love.
Yeah.
Yes.
But we still kind of are reminiscent of some cultural roots of whatever we're
And
talking
of
about.
course, you
Absolutely.
as a historian would love that as well. So
Yeah.
cheers, everybody.
Yeah,
cheers to
cheers.
Oktoberfest. Yeah, that's fun.
Oh, I love it when he comes on the show.
Same, yeah.
Absolutely.